Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, and welcome to the Morning Scoop for Wednesday, July 21st. This is your daily Buckeye fix. My name is Dominique Smith. The Minnesota game apparently is 43 days away, and the game against the team up north is in 130 days. So you're probably wondering, why is Dominique hosting the Morning Scoop? Well, that's because Tom's not here. I don't really know where he is, but he will be back. And depending on how you guys like this episode, you're going to be praying for him to come back sooner rather than later. But we have a jam-packed episode. I have two of the best in the business joining me. He's on the top left of my screen, so I'm going to go with him first, and I'm going to refer to them by their nicknames. We have Bill Greene, as I like to call Bill Cash Money Greene. And then we have Kirk Barton, Kirk the Hulk Barton. So if you see them in the streets, don't refer to them by their government name, refer to them by the nicknames that they are given. Gentlemen, how are you guys doing this morning?
Good, brother. How are you?
Not too bad. If you hear rumbles, it is just torching as far as the sky when it comes to this rain here in Florida. It is a bipolar state when it comes to weather, so it could rain in the morning, noon, and night.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know how it is. So without further ado, let's get started. One of the topics that I wanted to talk about is, Kurt, you've played this game for a long time. Bill, you've been doing this for longer than I'm 27. I'm sure you've done this longer than
Watch it.
I'm sorry, I'm 17. So you've been doing this longer than I was born.
You're up close to that line there.
Cash money, yeah. Like I said, 15, 17 years, give or take. I don't know. I'm still a kid and everything, but you guys have evaluated football players. You've played with them. You've gone to these camps, whether it being coaching at these camps or evaluating the talent. And so one thing that I feel like people get caught up on is like, oh my gosh, this kid, he has a pair of Nike shorts, a pair of cleats on, and a compression shirt, and he goes out and he blows everybody's minds. And so everybody's like, yes, this is the next big thing. This is the kid you got to get. And, the 7-on-7, making spectacular catches and all of that. But sometimes that does not equate to being a really good football player when it counts. And that's when the pads come on. So, Bill, I want to start with you. Cash Money, I want to start with you. In your years of doing this, how do you evaluate, this kid who's in a shirt and some shorts, they're going to be a good football player compared to, this kid is just good, when there's no pads popping?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's a difficult question, to be honest with you. I love seeing people in person. Number one, and like anybody can sit and watch film all day and, give your opinion of that film. For me to have a better evaluation, an accurate evaluation, I need to see kids in person. And really how I would, evaluate someone, it's probably going to be different for each position group. You know what I mean? Now I love, and I try to marry the camp performance to the game film. Okay. And I like to see both having what I like to see. If you're talking about quarterbacks, the best position on the field, the most important single position in all of team sports, I like to see QBs when the line's not blocking, when the team's getting beat. You know what I mean? When that dude's up 31-10 in the fourth quarter, everybody's a hero at that point. But man, when your line has quit and they're getting their butts kicked, and as a result, you're getting your butts kicked, but if you're standing in there still making throws, that means a lot to me. So, but it's position by position. And then like for linemen, Kirk and I a couple of weeks ago sat and watched O-linemen for hours, and in a camp setting, you have no helmet on, no pads, it's just man on man, dude on dude. And if you can hang in there and show that you're a bad dude when you got no protection at all, and you're blocking Hero Canoe or Shamar Stewart or somebody like that, then I know you can play. I know you're tough enough, so it would be each position. I'm looking for something different. Those wide receivers that look good in camp, there's no safety coming up, putting a helmet in their chest on camp. They ain't getting hit. So that 5'7", 160-pound kid that can fly, he's going to dominate at camp because nobody's going to stick him. And he knows nobody's going to stick him. So he's a bad dude at that camp. And then when he gets hit by Sonny Styles in week 1, then he might not want to go across that middle ever again. So it's all different. And I guess the quick answer for me would be that I try to marry up what I've seen in shorts and t-shirts with what I'm seeing on the game film. And when you're talking about an Ohio State kid, a 4-star, 5-star kid, both of those performances should marry up really well.
And Kurt, I want to ask you this specifically, and this will probably be my second question. And it's going to go in detail about how they do these rankings. Linemen, to me, especially offensive linemen, have to be incredibly difficult to try to project as far as, are they going to be good? I look at a guy like Thayer Munford. He didn't get all the glam. He didn't get all the glory. But I remember there was a video clip, back in 2017 when he came in, of him blocking Jalen Holmes and doing a good job of it. So, you and Bill went out to the Ohio State camp a few weeks ago, and you got to see the likes of Luke Montgomery and those guys. How do you evaluate the linemen? What are some of the things that you look for in a shirt and shorts to say, hey, this guy is the real deal?
Well, first off, that was Bank's boy, because Bank wrote about him when he was in like 7th grade or something. Because Thayer was at camp, and we were talking about that. And Bill loves to rib guys at camp. He's crazy. You're a little chubby kid, but you look big and you look like you can move. And Bill's rapport with people at camp it's so fun to watch, because he knows a lot of these players, knows all the coaches, knows like the South Florida. So it's like he has rapport with all these guys, and they all love him. And Thayer was just laughing and cheese, because Thayer's come a long way. But I think it's tough to evaluate offensive linemen in high school, because they generally don't go against equal competition. So you might have some kid who's physically just better than everybody, and he's going against little short dudes, and he just throws them in the ground, which is great. He's got to do that because that's who he's going against. But it's hard to get a true good on good eval in high school when you watch the film. So that's why camp is great, because hopefully there's a Shamar Stewart, or there's somebody that you can pair off against a Luke Montgomery, and you can say, okay, I finally get to see a good on good matchup. It's not him going against some kid from the Fairless Falcons, or someone like and so it's difficult. And plus, like the flip to it, and the thing that people don't talk about is the mental aspect of camp. And I talk to Bank about this all the time, but when you're like the big dog, you're 6'7", you're 290, you're in high school, and you're just killing everybody, you don't ever get beat. So that's what I mean. Bank noticed, like when we're watching like the one-on-one pass rush drills, like that's like kind of the highlight of the morning at Ohio State camp, when the O-line and D-line go against each other in the pass rush drill. And like some of these guys are going to get beat. Like, I mean, like Luke Montgomery, who's a 5-star kid off of everybody, is going to get beat. Like, he's going to have a target on his back. People are going to want to go against him. Like Josh Padilla had a target on his back because he's got the Ohio State offer. So all these kids want to go against him. They want to bull rush him. They want to do stuff that, in a camp setting, in a drill like that, like it's so slanted towards the D lineman winning that it's hilarious, because there's no threat of a run. There's no inside help from the guard like there normally would be if in a true pass protection scheme, because like if a tackle gets beat inside 90% of the time, if the guard is sliding with him, it's the guard's responsibility to block the B gap. So if that guy goes up and under like they all do in the stupid drill, the guard, it's the guard's guy now, and the guard has to ear hold that guy, so that's just how it is. But in these camps, people don't realize that. They're like, oh, well, he's getting beat, and I'm like, no, he's just setting like how he's taught to set in high school and how I'll get taught to set at Ohio State. The center generally has, the tackle usually has the C gap, like the furthest gap out wide. So his job is to make sure the guy doesn't run around the edge. So as soon as that guy goes inside, it's the guard's guy. But in that drill, guys look bad because they always laugh at angle set, and then guys go underneath and there's no guard there. So it looks like that they lost, but in reality, they would have won in real life. But I like to see how do kids react when they lose. When they go against someone, because some of these guys have never lost before. Let's be real. Like if they're some 5-star guy and they're from some small town in Indiana or Kentucky, like there's no one's going to challenge them. No one in their league is going to be as good as they are. So they're never going to lose. But then all of a sudden they show up to Ohio State, they go against somebody good. And I've seen that ruin more guys than anybody. Is just the mental, is that like I talked to Beck about Connor Smith. Like Connor Smith was a dominant run blocking guard, played a triple option offense. And he got in that one-on-one pass rush drill, and he was going against really good pass rushers at Ohio State at D tackle, and he'd lose. And then like you lose, you don't win it all for a week straight, turns into a month straight, turns into a year straight, turns into a career. So it's like, you can't take one rep or one bad day and let it compound and grow into a career where you just basically wash out. I mean, and that's like the thing I like to see at campus. How do these guys respond to losing?
I want to add to that, Dom, not to interrupt, but I want to add something to that. I saw something about, oh my God, it had to be 10 years ago, 7, 8 years ago. There was at the Under Armour back in the day, used to have a underclass camp. They would have like the top 50 underclassmen. And one of the first one they've ever had, I was there, and there was an O-lineman there, highly rated kid. And he looked like Ivan Drago out of Rocky. I mean, this guy was 6'6", 6'7", blonde hair, just looked like a monster, and it was Braden Smith, who's now with the Colts, and he's really good. And he played at Auburn. He was really good at Auburn. Well, I don't know who he faced in, Olathe, Kansas, or wherever he was from. He never faced kids like he saw at Under Armour that day. And going through drills, he was unbelievable. Cone drill, speed drill, bag drill. Oh my God. It was amazing. And I thought, this guy's going to kill somebody in these one-on-ones. Well, the first one-on-one, there was a kid from Miami. I can't remember his name. He was not a highly rated kid, but he was a bad dude. He was about 5'11" and about 350. And he took Braden Smith and drove him about 20 yards back, knocked him on the ground, and cleat marks all up and down his chest. And Braden Smith never took another rep the rest of that camp. And he was like the highlight guy at that camp. And he was clearly totally intimidated. And I thought to myself right then, this kid will never, ever make it. He never saw this type of player in Kansas, and he shrunk, he backed down. I pretty much wrote him off, but to Braden Smith's credit, he never took another rep at Under Armour either for an hour. He stood with his arms folded and looked like he was about to cry, but he fought through that, and he became a great player. So my evaluation back then on Braden Smith would have been, I don't want him on my team at all. But so you can be wrong, with these evaluations. Absolutely. You're looking at a snapshot in time and then trying to form some huge opinion on the guy. And that always stuck with me when I'm trying to be hypercritical or on a kid. I watch the guy that's, a potential Pro Bowl guy totally wimp out at a camp. Yep. So, and he obviously got over that, and he's blocking people now.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, you watch some of these camp videos, and I think, at different camps, like you see the receivers, like they'll catch the ball, make a move, make another move, make another move, make another move. It's got 2 million views on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and stuff. And then you watch somebody's highlight tape, receiver makes a move, makes another move, and then just bam, linebacker comes over the top and just knocks his chest, like knocks him out, essentially. So it's so hard to kind of, there's some kids, like I've been watching, videos of Travis Hunter, the kid that's committed to FSU.
Yeah, amazing.
He has God-given,
no doubt.
Quinn Ewers, just the way the ball he just has just incredible talent. And then there are just people that, like Bill, you said you missed on. And then you never know, and to your point, you never know how a kid is going to respond. Like some kids, like you said, they don't take another rep, but the embarrassment, especially now with social media, if you get owned, especially by somebody that's not ranked or not highly ranked, that you're a highly ranked prospect, you're going to have to deal with it. Like it's going to be.
And I think that's why Kirk and I really, really liked Luke Montgomery at the Ohio State camp, because Luke has played primarily tight end and defensive end. He's not really played a lot of offensive tackle, so he's learning that on the fly. And, he's blocking kids at the Ohio State camp that, man, it's tough to learn on the job there. But we would see him get beat. The O-line coach and Kevin Wilson and Greg Sturdraw would pull him off to the side and tell him, you did this wrong. You got to fix this next time. And he would go back the next time and he would do it exactly as they coached him. And I know how much Kirk and I really, we could see the kids coachable. We could see the kids competitive, and that meant a lot to the both of us.
The one thing I found that was interesting about Montgomery is because I live in Florida. I cover Florida. I understand football. I don't know anything about, or I know very little about Ohio football. But when he went against Derek LeBlanc, and I believe the video I saw, he won that rep.
Yeah.
Derek LeBlanc's not a joke. He is a borderline 5-star player who is just getting better. And I said, wow, like he doesn't have the weight on him because, I've just learned he was tight end, but I was like, this kid is legit. Like that's a legit dude that he went against and everything. And LeBlanc is going against the likes, especially this year, because they're all in the same districts of Peyton Kirkland and TJ Shanahan and some of the best, tackle prospects in the country, let alone the state. And so to your point, once they go against somebody that's on their level per se, you really learn a lot about the player. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys, and we'll close with this. I've been trying to figure out, 247's about to release their rankings. We have our rankings at Buckeye Scoop, so definitely check it out for the class of 2022, the Scoop 100. It's so weird to me, and I'm not trying to throw shade at anyone in any industry and how they come up with the rankings and everything, but they project to the NFL. And I think that is incredibly hard. Kurt, I remember you told a story on the board, which is more reason you need to jump to Buckeye Scoop because you get some inside stories, but about Pat Elflein. Like, and I remember, like you were on staff with him. And I remember watching an interview with Pat Elflein, and he said, like, I went against those guys, Corey Lindsley and all those guys, and I realized like really fast, I have to get better. Pat Elflein is in the NFL. Billy Price was a defensive tackle, switched over to the offensive line. Darryl Baldwin, guys like that. So many guys. Chris Olave, we're talking about him arguably being the number 1 receiver taken in next year's draft. And these are some lower rated guys. And so they project these kids thinking like this kind of kid is going to hit the NFL. And then you have kids who may, get to the NFL, but if I am a 5-star all-world player who was created from, I'm like Thor's son, essentially, and I have the 6 stone and I'm this good, I expect you to be Orlando Pace, Aaron Donald. I expect you to be this all-world player. The two of you have been covering this, and Kurt, you played for a long time. What would you do to change the ranking system? How would you, if they said, what, you guys, we have to start over, this is how we really should rank these kids. What are the things that you would do? And Kurt, I'll start with you. Hulk, I'll start.
Hell, Dom, are you gonna call? What's the meaning of life? Is that the next one you're gonna ask us?
I mean, if there's time, we can.
That's tough, man. Because I feel like those people, they do, they do, a pretty thorough job. I think it's really hard to evaluate kids because college coaches miss, NFL GMs miss. It's at every level, like because sometimes like you might have a kid's talent nailed, you might have his demeanor nailed, but he might get to college and fall in love with weed or girls or not going to school. Or I've seen that. Like I've seen guys that I'm like, dude, you're so talented. Like I played with Louis Irizarry, most talented tight end maybe in Ohio State history. Played 1 year and got kicked out for, he hit a female and then he robbed somebody. So he was gone by spring ball. It was like, so some guys, they just can't handle college. Just being real. It's like when you go to orientation as a freshman at Ohio State, they say, look to your left, look to your right. One of you won't be here in a year. Like a third of the kids drop out. And so it's not just football players, but some of these guys, they can't handle college. They can't handle work. They can't handle getting beat. So, it's hard to evaluate these guys. And then you go to like the NFL level and guys can't handle money. They get millions of dollars all of a sudden, and they get more caught up in their brand than they do the grind and the toil that is football. But I just think, never count out the kids that really have heart and passion and want to be good. And sometimes it's hard if, a lot of these kids, they don't really let you in. So you can't really tell where they're coming from, or like Pat had a lot of heart. Like Pat was a tough kid. He didn't really look great. He didn't look like some, road great. He didn't look like Wyatt Davis, but the kid was a grinder. He worked hard, very athletic, really good guard, ended up being a Remington winner at center. And he's had a nice NFL career, and he's good character, good family. And, there's something sometimes about like Ohio kids where it's like, you don't want to be that kid that's a bust. Like, I really think that drives certain guys. And I've talked to guys like AJ Hawk about that. It's like, that Ohio State offer when you're an Ohio kid, it's a double-edged sword, because you want to be, you want that offer because you want to play for Ohio State winning the world. But, you get there and you don't pan out, then you're the guy that didn't really deserve that offer. You're the guy that was the bust. You're the guy, and you carry that with the rest of your life. So you might not move back to your hometown, but you go back there and they see you like, yeah, that guy, he should have went to Akron. He should have went to Pitt. He should have went to, but not Ohio. He wasn't Ohio State caliber. He just got lucky or whatever. So it's a double-edged sword. And I think you'd be surprised how many guys that I've talked to, like, they actually completely agree with that. And they think that, I don't want to be a bust. I don't want to go to my hometown and say, yeah, you shouldn't have gotten that. So that drives a lot of the Ohio kids, especially. And I think honestly, Pat was probably one of those kids. He's from Pickerington and small community, and they all know him. And he's the kid that got the Ohio State ride. And again, man, it's not always, fun and games, man. Cause our fans, as they can be pretty tough. And if you're a bust, man, they're not shy to tell you you're a bust for the rest of your life.
Go ahead, Cash Money.
Yeah, I would, I worked for 24/7 for 3-4 years, probably. Worked for scout.com before that. And 24/7 was great to me, and worked with some great people there. I hate the premise that we're ranking kids as high school kids based on their NFL careers. I never looked at it that way. My employer wants me to do it that way. I'm going to do it that way. But I think we should be ranking kids, and I think people want our information based on what they can do for their school. I don't think anybody gives a darn right now that's on Buckeye Scoop. I don't think they're worried about J.K. Johnson's NFL career. They're worried about that guy covering people at Ohio State. So I think the college football fan, they don't care about what the guy pans out in the NFL. And I'll give you a couple names here, okay, that I guess should be considered busts, okay? Tommy Frazier from Nebraska. You think those fans in Nebraska consider him a bust? I don't think so. Tim Tebow at Florida didn't make it in the NFL. That means he was a bust. Well, I don't think the Gator fans look at him as a bust. So I hate ranking kids based on their NFL potential. I did it when I had to do it, but we're not doing it now at Buckeye Scoop. When I tell you about Reed Carrico, or I tell you about Quinn Ewers, it has nothing to do with what I think Reed Carrico or Quinn Ewers is going to do for the Indianapolis Colts or the LA Rams. And I don't think anyone at Buckeye Scoop cares about that. They want to know how many games are going to help Ohio State win. So that's what I hated about that ranking process at 24/7. I hate the whole thing where we're projecting them as NFL players. There's nobody swiping a credit card at 24/7 or at Buckeye Scoop wants to know what I think Quinn Ewers is going to do in the NFL. Like, if I tell you, not going to be really good for Ohio State, but he's going to have a heck of a career for the Detroit Lions, nobody wants to hear that. It's bull crap. So I'm going to tell you what they're going to do for your school. And then we'll figure out that NFL stuff later. But that was my main disagreement with how 24/7 ranks kids, is when they bring in that NFL comparison. And I don't think the fans want that. And we should be in this business to cater to our fans. So that's my rant on the rankings. And I also want to add, before we're done here, Dom, I think you're doing such a fantastic job for us at the Scoop. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate having you, and I appreciate your work ethic, and you're doing a great job. And I think, more importantly, I think our fans really appreciate you. So shout out to you from me. A lot of respect.
Well, I appreciate that compliment. They said, I know you've been in the game for like 12, 15 years. So
it's longer than that, but I appreciate that.
Definitely means a lot. Still trying to figure things out. But I have one final question, and I want to end on a light note. So we have the Buckeye Bash barbecue, and I pray that they hire somebody that knows how to cook.
It's not anybody at Ohio Stadium, that's for sure.
Okay, well, that's fine. Like I said, if they need me, just hit me up. I got them. But last week of summer, school's about to go in. So I have a specific question for both of you. Kurt, what's the ultimate barbecue plate? And then Bill, what's the ultimate golf course? And I wanted to hear in Florida. So what's the golf course that you would go to in Florida, like for your last round of golf to end out the summer? Kurt, if there's one plate of food, man, before you had to hit the weights and before you really dove into everything, what are we doing? I don't care who.
It has to be barbecue, or it could be anything. Also, plate of food, or also barbecue plate of food. Barbecue plate.
Well, screw it. It could be anything.
Anything? Oh God, In-N-Out Burger. I love In-N-Out Burger, man. Oh, I used to eat In-N-Out Burger when I played for the 49ers. I ate In-N-Out Burger 5 days a week, every night except for the night before a hard practice on Wednesday. So Tuesday night and Wednesday night were the only 2 nights of the week where I didn't eat. I would get 3 4x4s, an animal fry, large vanilla shake, large iced tea. I did that 5 nights a week.
Iced tea or sweet tea?
Just unsweet. I don't like sweet tea. I don't need all those calories.
You might as well just got water.
Bank, that's 12 hamburger patties that I would eat every fudging day. Oh, I know you don't. Dude, I'm telling you, I would eat it in my little hotel room, and it was the highlight of my day every day. Oh my God, it was so good. I miss it. So that's my ultimate plate, my In-N-Out Burger meal, or STK. STK is fire too. Rib cap, steak, truffle mac and cheese, and iced tea. That's perfect. There you go. This is my win.
All right, Cash Money. Where are we playing golf?
Well, in Miami, I really love a course called Jacaranda. Love it. But if I'm playing one, there's a course over in Fort Myers. It's a country club, and it's called Veranda. And one of our Scoop members, who's an awesome dude, is a member there, and he's taken me there more than one time. And I just absolutely love that course. They have a lake somewhere in the course, and they have like there's a housing community all around the course. And this guy, my buddy, lives in one of the houses on the course, and there's a lake there, and they have like a pet. Well, I don't know if he's a pet, but there's an alligator there that kind of just hangs out, and everybody knows who he is. Now, ain't nobody petting him, and there ain't nobody feeding him, and you don't get that close to him, but he's supposedly friendly. So they got the great alligator. It's a great course. Great Scoop member lives there. So, man, that would be my course. I'll go to Veranda in Fort Myers and finish it off.
I've definitely heard about Veranda. Never been to In-N-Out Burger. Gosh.
Oh, I love In-N-Out Burger. My favorite. I'll get flamed on the board because people will be like, oh, it's not an artisan gastropub burger, but I love In-N-Out Burger. I don't care what anybody says. That's my joint. Every time I go to Vegas, man, we walk down In-N-Out Burger. It's so good.
Okay, listen, I can't knock it, especially if I'm not paying for it. So I would probably say for golf, though, I suck at golf. I could putt, but that's it.
But I don't even have clubs, Dom. I gotta go golf next Tuesday. I don't even have clubs.
I don't either. I just use somebody else's. They're not afraid. And I'm not going to tell this story because they might come for me. But I did break a golf club one time at a golf store.
Like in anger or an accident?
Accident.
There you go.
I was trying it out. I tried out the wrong one, $350 driver.
Man.
Top of it. I was in high school.
Did they make you buy it?
No, I left.
That a boy. that a babe. That a babe. Go back on the shelf.
But they closed down. Praise God. So
very good.
I'll have to say, I don't know if you've been up here in Orlando, but Bay Hill, the golf course there is pretty good. And then there's a golf course, the Dubstrait Golf Course in College Park in Edgewater. And go ahead.
Kirk gives me a little vacation time this winter. I'll be down and
do it, man. I'm telling you, just schedule it around the Under Armour game or whatever game you want to go to.
Yeah.
Go there for about a half hour in this hour. I've seen Shamar Stewart run fast. All right, I'm good, ready to go. Get the sticks out of my trunk.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, there during the winter, the best food that you will have. Like, it is legit.
Where at in Orlando?
Dubstrait.
I went to Rocco's Tacos down. That was pretty good. Taco Tuesday.
No, you got to go somewhere else. Rocco's don't get okay. I can't say what I want to say because we support all businesses here at Buckeye Scoop. So before I get myself in trouble, that is it, gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for joining on the show. I want to thank all you fans and listeners who had to listen to me. I'm not sure when Tom's going to be back. I think tomorrow or Friday. I don't even know. Yeah, tomorrow or Friday. But you still need to stick to tune into the Buckeye Scoop YouTube channel because we're going to have updates from Big Ten Media Day. If you are a member, you get a chance to read, you get a chance to watch exclusive information. Kirk has his SWO, and that's on YouTube. But Bill Cash Money has his nuggets, his bank blogs. Did I get it right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Bank blog, bank chat.
And yeah, the all-day bank chat. And we talk about everything on there, not just golf. Keep that political crap to yourself or else you will get blocked like Giannis blocking DeAndre Ayton at the rim. It is a great time to subscribe to Buckeye Scoop, especially with the season gearing up. You can get my takes, 2 piece in the biscuits, which will be getting made on a shirt.
Yes.
And there's plenty to like. Go in. All Forward is the best film you'll join. I want to thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.